Hello, Princess, from the apparently boring and normal solarium here on Odyssey of the Seas. Thought this would be a good time to, just chat about some random things, or one specific thing, actually. And, well, what better time to do it than aboard a Royal Caribbean cruise ship? Because recently, Royal Caribbean announced the name for their next Oasis-class ship, and I have some interesting thoughts about it. Well, she is going to be named Utopia of the Seas, right? Now, you have to say it with a grand expression, Utopia of the Seas, because if you don't say it that way, it is a terrible name. Ay, ay, ay. So this is one of those times when I ask myself, did anybody actually say this in a meeting? Did anyone actually try to say it in a meeting? Did anyone have a conversation about this name with somebody else in a meeting or not in a meeting? Because, apparently not. And the reason is Utopia of the Seas, unless you're giving the grand dramatic presentation, which is probably what all the bigwigs kept hearing, is actually pretty hard to say in English. And that's because the two back-to-back sounds are not something that English speakers will naturally glide together. So in order to say the name, you have to insert a hard pause in between Utopia and of. Otherwise, you're not actually saying the name of the ship, and it just sounds, I don't know, clunky and weird, and it's not something that kind of rolls off the tongue that you can just say conversationally or in a speech or something like that. Unless, of course, they are totally okay with people just using the primary name of the ship. Now, I don't think so, because corporate-wise, it's part of their identity. They actually want everybody to use the full name of the ship. This is Odyssey of the Seas, not just the Odyssey. So I don't know how this got past the evaluators, but remember, I broke my tripod. Hold on one second. We now have a situation where it will be very easier to say, and way too common, I think, for the marketing people to be comfortable with once they actually hear this in production, to say the wrong name. Because you really got two choices, right? If you don't want to use the clunky Utopia of the Seas, hear that? It's something that we don't really notice unless you actually have to do it, right? So just say it, Utopia of the Seas. You hear that pause? So what people are going to do is they're going to either say this uncomfortably, or they're going to kind of force a glide. And there's only two ways to do this. One just sounds ridiculous and nobody will do it, and the other is just wrong. So what are people going to do? You could say Utopia of the Seas. Nobody's going to do that because it sounds weird, and we don't glide vowels together like that. It just doesn't happen. So what people are going to do, and what I think you're going to hear in a lot of the announcements, is the wrong name. People are going to just sort of casually say Utopia of the Seas, right? Now, did you hear that? I said Utopia of the Seas, right? People are going to combine the sounds in kind of in a non-glided fashion into one. So you're going to have either Utopia the Seas, which no, or Utopia of the Seas, because ia is glidable, but is not. So that is the problem with the name, that I am actually surprised nobody noticed. And is it a problem that they're going to worry about later? Are people who make announcements going to be continually admonished for not using the correct name of the ship? I don't know. Now, I did check. None of the other members of the fleet have this problem. They're all nice and glidable sounds. Here we are on Odyssey of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas, Spectrum of the Seas, Anthem of the Seas, all nice names that just kind of flow together. But now we have Utopia of the Seas. Yeah. All right, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I will more than likely be on the first sailing and listening very carefully to every announcement to make sure they actually pronounce the correct name of the ship. That's going to be super fun. Now, is that something worth going to guest services over? Oh, that is the $100 in OBC question, isn't it? It certainly looks like Freelance is not going anywhere today because she is thoroughly blocked in by Odyssey of the Seas. And, well, there's her bow and all the lines right there. So, yeah, well, for now, she's stuck. Well, she's not stuck. No, they probably don't plan to go anywhere for a while. I'm not sure if the ship ever even leaves there. Well, this is Odyssey of the Seas Solarium. I call it the regular boring Solarium because it's not like the Tron Solarium we had on Wonder Woman of the Seas. It is enclosed, fully enclosed, and it's actually a bit chilly in here, but, well, being under the sun certainly helps. I suppose this is the more traditional layout, but I noticed these are glass, insulated glass. It looks like they are double paned, although I can't really see. I guess it makes it hard to change, though, in case something goes wrong. Then over there is the sunshine bar instead of the solarium bar. And the foliage. I haven't seen any animals like they had on Wonder Woman. No elephants or anything like that. Gonna maybe take a look. But, ooh, look. Some chairs. Those look like fun. And they're green. Now, this brings up a larger question or a larger observation about how Royal Caribbean on the last two classes of ship completely messed up their naming scheme. What they had been doing previously is they would take the launch vessel and they would kind of have a theme through all the names, right? Like, you know, Adventurer, Explorer, Voyager, Mariner, that whole theme. Then you have Freedom, Liberty, Independence, and they started this. Well, they started, of course, got to start somewhere, with the Oasis class. They had Oasis of the Seas, then Allure of the Seas, then Harmony? What was that? So, I thought they were going to do something like Mirage of the Seas. They were going to have a whole desert or, you know, maybe ancient Mediterranean theme or something like that going on. So, it should have been Oasis of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, and I thought they were going to do like Mirage of the Seas, and then to continue that, it should have been Spectrum of the Seas, and then Ancient Mediterranean, Odyssey of the Seas, where we are now, and then finally Wonder of the Seas. See, that would have been a nice cohesive naming scheme, but they kind of messed it up with Harmony, and they never really said why, and I don't know, now it's just this jumbled mess of names, which, I don't know, it's like a sightline. They totally ruined it. And for the Quantum class, it was kind of similar. They started with Quantum of the Seas, and then I think it was Anthem of the Seas, then Ovation of the Seas. But to continue that theme, it should have been Harmony of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas, and here, I guess it could have been Melody of the Seas. That would have been a nice, cohesive naming scheme for all these ships that Royal Caribbean actually had a tradition of doing it, but they messed it up. And there's really no reason to have done that. I mean, Harmony of the Seas is nothing harmonious. Oh god, I can't believe I said that. I'm sorry. Harmony doesn't mean anything specific to the Oasis class. It's just, I don't know. It kind of messed it up, and it's so disappointing. And again, I'm surprised somebody let this through. But then, of course, there's the next series of ships. Hopefully, they'll start and they will stay on theme. So, I don't know. I do have some ideas for that. And no tripod. Hold on. The launch vessel in the next class of ship seems to be going to be named Icon of the Seas. Actually, I love the name. It's really, really good. It flows. It's glidable. A nice, short, and memorable name. So where could they, or where should they go from there? Well, to keep that theme, here are my suggestions. And Royal, please go right ahead and use them. No credit. Free cruise would be nice, but I don't expect it, of course. So you have Icon of the Seas. Then there would be Idol of the Seas. Then Artistry of the Seas. Next, Sculptor of the Seas. Not Sculpture, Sculptor of the Seas. Then I think Creator. No, not Creator. No. Curator of the Seas. There we go. See, staying with that art theme. And finally, starting with Icon and ending with Symbol of the Seas. Now, see, that's a nice, cohesive and together naming scheme, and they're all related. How hard is this? I don't know. It doesn't seem hard to me, but whatever. I'm not in charge of this. Maybe I should. But we're not going to end there. We're going to think of some fun new naming schemes for ships in case they want to get a little bit, I don't know, edgy, break some new ground, and, I don't know, mix it up a little bit. But first, let's take a look at this solarium. So I guess this is what they mean by infinity hot tubs. The pools, you know, they step up. They're terraced, heading all the way up there to the bar. It's kind of nice, although these aren't just hot tubs. They're just regular pools. Wind is much nicer on this side of the ship. Well, it's not that the wind is nicer, it's just that the ship is blocking the wind, so we have a much calmer and quieter view of the ocean. It would be nice if it was on the island side, but that's okay. And sometime, I will do an excursion here in Aruba, but I think the one time I was here, I did enough. I rode the train and a few other things, so, oh boy, it is nice. We'll have to come out here when we're at sea one day. I did not do this on Wonder of the Seas. I don't know why. I can't believe I didn't see this before. Do you see it? It's close enough, and it brings back such memories. While Odyssey of the Seas may not have the Tron Solarium, I'm gonna call this the Horizons Solarium. Right? How we miss her. Anyway, well, that is my, I don't know, little chat about Royal Caribbean ships' names and how you actually have to say these names before you actually choose to use them. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there will be rumors. Probably not. And you know what? Came up with some fun names of my own for future classes of ships that, come on, wouldn't we love to see those out on the seven seas? I certainly would. Definitely not going to happen because I'm a nobody and they're definitely not going to choose any of my fun names. But hey, I'm here on a luxury cruise ship vamping about things that mean absolutely nothing to anybody but me. And that's another great reason why I am so thankful for my problems.